My name is Sam, and this is a true story. In fact, it's a cautionary tale, so please pay attention. This story takes place when I was in 5th or 6th grade. I'm 23 now. One night, when we were heading home, my dad decided to stop at the pharmacy to buy some things. I decided to stay in the car that was parked right in front of the pharmacy, and even though my dad insisted that I go with him, I stubbornly refused. Of course, he didn't like the idea of leaving me alone in the car, but he decided to just head in without me. The pharmacy was located on a busy street, and a lot of people and cars were passing. I remember there being a narrow, dark alley on the left side of the pharmacy that looked very creepy, that likely led to the backside of the street, but I didn't pay much attention to that alley at first. I was only in the car for a few minutes when, out of the corner of my eye, I noticed a guy coming out of the alley. He was a bit tanned. He was wearing a dirty white shirt and jeans and looked as if he was in his late 20s or early 30s. I remember being creeped out by him, especially since he came out of the alley looking around kind of frantically. He looked suspicious. That's when we made eye contact, and he started slowly walking straight to me. The thing about his walk is that it wasn't normal. He had a bent back, and his hands were in his pockets. As he walked, he would look at the pharmacy and back to the car, over and over again. The whole time, his eyes would come back to mine. He was staring at me. I quickly looked away, trying to keep his figure in my peripheral vision. Once he got to the car, he tried to open the door, but thankfully it was locked. I was so scared the whole time, but I didn't want to make things worse, so I just pretended like nothing was happening. He kept trying to open the door. I didn't actually have a phone at the time, so I reached into my pocket and then turned my body away from him, making a motion like I had just pulled a phone out of my pocket and put it to my ear. I was convinced he was trying to kidnap me. I glanced over my shoulder to see how he was acting as he continued to try to get in the car. He had a concerned look on his face, but kept looking back at the pharmacy. After what felt like forever, he gave up and walked back to the dark alley. His walk was so creepy as he went. After he was no longer in view, I quickly got out of the car and went into the pharmacy to look for my dad. Once I found him, I told him everything. He was so shocked and angry. He even insisted on searching for the guy, but I didn't tell him that the creepy guy came out of the dark alley. I didn't want something to happen to my dad. To this day, I haven't forgotten his creepy stare and walk. God knows what he wanted to do to me. What if my dad didn't lock the doors? And what if this guy hadn't given up? I'm still paranoid to this day and would never stay in the car waiting for someone. I'm so thankful to God for protecting me and for my dad's concern that led him to lock the door. Please, never, ever stay alone in a car, especially at night. And if you must, lock the door.